Hey there, it's time for another discussion. Before we get into the meat of the Birth by Sleep story, I want to talk about a theme that's vitally important not only to this game, but according to series creator Tetsuya Nomura, the entire Kingdom Hearts story. Today, we're talking about bonds. So what are bonds? Put simply, they're the connections we have with other people. Think about your neighbors, acquaintances, coworkers, friends, family. All of them have a unique connection to you, and have affected your life in some way. Even chance meetings with people we never meet again can be really profound. Everyone you've met in your life has contributed to the person you are now. They're part of your story and you're part of theirs. So Phil, you ask, how is this relevant? Well, we always have to remember when dealing with Kingdom Hearts that feelings can shape the world around us. Hearts are an idea, but also a physical place inside of us, and you can use that to connect with other people. When Ventus's heart is broken, Sora's connects with his, filling in the gap and healing him. Sora doesn't even realize he's doing this, but it saves Ventus's life, and you can bet it'll have implications later in the story. In a world where connecting people's hearts is a concrete, real thing that you can do, the bonds between characters becomes integral to the story. Think about the structure of each game. We spend most of them visiting various Disney worlds, going through their stories, and then leaving for the next one. I've heard people say that the Disney worlds don't matter, that they're just filler. To those people, I would say two things. First, you can say the same thing about every town in every RPG ever made, and also, you're wrong. In every Disney world, we meet several characters, through which we become involved in their story. We become a part of the conflict, go through all sorts of adventures along people like Mulan, Aladdin, and Prince Charming. We make friends and enemies, and become attached to the people we're spending time with. These people become important to our characters and to us, even more so if we know them for watching the movies they're based on. And in every world, your character learns something. The experiences they have affect them in some way, and their new friendships become a source of strength. That's what we're doing in these Disney worlds. We're growing up and growing stronger. But then, at the end of each world's story, you have to leave all your new friends behind, going out for your next adventure. It's a bittersweet feeling, but this is where the emotional core of the game lies. Kingdom Hearts is a series where friends are constantly being separated, often with no idea whether or not they'll ever meet again. Remember the origins of the Kingdom Hearts universe. Everyone used to live on one world, but after the Keyblade War they all got separated. And with everyone living on different worlds, the distance between people might seem insurmountable. And this is where the idea of bonds comes in. By connecting your heart with someone else's, you form a relationship that'll sustain itself even when you're not together. This isn't just true in Kingdom Hearts, where hearts are literally connected, but in real life too. The perfect example of this is graduating high school. When I graduated, I was scared, positively terrified, that me and my best friends would all go in different directions and lose each other. It's easy to be friends with someone when they're right in front of you, but when you're all off in different places, leading different lives, growing and changing apart from one another, it's hard to know whether you'll be able to maintain that friendship or not. As it turns out, teenage me should have listened to Kingdom Hearts. Several years later, I can safely say that if a friendship is strong enough, it's not about the proximity or how often you see each other. It's about the feelings you have for each other, and knowing that there's someone out there who really understands you, who you never have to explain yourself to. I'm as close to my best friends as I ever was. And even though I might go months or even years without seeing them, they still mean the world to me, and knowing that they're out there and that they support me is just as much of a source of strength as Sora's friendship with Ariel the mermaid is. Alright, I'm starting to sound like I'm in an after-school special, but this is Kingdom Hearts. This is what we gotta talk about. So bonds with other people are a source of strength. It's what motivates the characters in Kingdom Hearts more than anything else, and Birth by Sleep is entirely driven by this. Terra's journey is driven by the feeling that he's different. He loves Aqua and Ven, but he sees a light in them that he doesn't feel he can match, and so he's going down a dark path looking for a different way to gain power. However, at his core, what he really wants is power to protect his allies. As for Ventus, he looks up to Aqua but especially Terra, and he wants more than anything to be acknowledged by him. He thinks Terra is going to succumb to darkness if he's on his own, so he chases after Terra to help support him. And Aqua feels, more than anything, like her job's to take care of Terra and Ventus, to make sure that they're alright. Seeing Terra struggling with his darkness and seeing Ventus venture out into danger is all the motivation she needs. After all, she made the three of them the Wayfinders, as if she knew inside that they couldn't stay together forever, and she wanted to try to hold them together. Even though they're all going in the same direction, they are, for the first time, all split up, and after everything that happened, it's difficult for them to come together again. In any hero's journey, the physical struggle is merely one layer of what's going on. There's a metaphorical journey taking place too, and here we have three. Terra trying to gain the ultimate strength, Ventus trying to live up to his role models, and Aqua trying to hold everyone together as she sees everything crumbling around her. It's bleak, but the thing that enables each of them to keep going forward, even when things look their worst, is that they have this unbreakable bond. It'll be tested, it'll bend, and sometimes it may fail, but it'll always pull through, and in the end all three of them are fighting for each other. These bonds, these friendships, these connections, they're going to be vitally important as we continue through the series. So it's important that we recognize this so we can understand the journey that our characters are going through. I'm going to leave you with a poem that's been part of Kingdom Hearts since the beginning. It won't come into play directly until a little later, but it perfectly encapsulates everything we've talked about here. Thinking of you, wherever you are, we pray for our sorrows to end and hope that our hearts will blend. Now I will step forward to realize this wish. And who knows, starting a journey may not be so hard, or maybe it's already begun. There are many worlds, but they all share the same sky. One destiny. Thanks for watching.